Okay, so once you've mastered getting all your fingers in the right place, we need to look at some legato playing, okay? So staccato is normally, as you know, picked every note nice and short. In terms of legato playing on guitar, most of it uses just one pick and then you artificially either hammer on or pull off the notes, okay? So you could get something like this. So that note can last forever just because I'm hammering on and pulling off at the same time. Okay, so I'm creating the note without having to use this hand. So what we'll do is we'll break that down, because that does come up in some of the pieces. For example, in Sunshine of Your Love, the very first part of the solo, you see the 5 tied up to 7, that's a hammer on. Okay, so these are things that are right in from grade 3. So, how do we do hammer-ons? The best way to try it actually is to go from an open string onto one of the fretted notes. Okay, so I'm just taking the G here, right? So just let that G ring out and then say try hammering on the 3rd or the 5th. Let's just stick with the 5th, right? So you want to let the note ring and then hammer on to create that 2nd note, okay? Most of the time what you'll do is you might not get a note out of it, okay? The electric, slightly easier to get notes out of. You're starting to see a pattern here. The acoustics aren't quite as forgiving, but a good practice on something that is a lot tougher, and then when you come to play a really nice electric, or just an electric in general, things become a lot easier. So that's the idea that we want. So we want to play the note, take this hand off, and then press down hard enough that it creates that 2nd note. That's the easiest way to hammer on, okay? Pulling off is the exact same way, so we start at 5, and literally that's all you do, is you pull off that string to create that 2nd note. It's the same as if you wanted to just pluck that string using your 1st finger. Okay, all you would do is kind of scrape across it, but the trick is to try and do it with another note on. Okay, so sometimes another note will ring out, but that's the general idea. So you just take it and then you just slowly kind of pull your finger off the string so it creates that other note. Okay, when you put them both together, a hammer on into a pull off. So hammer on, pull off, hammer on, pull off. This allows you to be able to create notes that last basically forever until you get bored, really, or you want to move it. Okay, effectively you could play the whole Thunderstruck by AC/DC just using that 1st note. Okay? So that's the easiest way, is pulling off or hammering on from an open note. The difficult one is pulling off or hammering on from an already sustained note, like you've got your finger on, you need to hammer on with a different finger. And that's why it's so important to get all these fingers working independently and working strongly, okay? Because effectively what you could do is you could take this whole section and do hammer-ons. Okay? Okay, so legato playing just makes you sound faster than you probably are, okay? It means you don't have to pick every single note, which means you can blast through that. Okay, that takes a little bit of skill still to do, but that's the idea. So again, we're going to just take 2 notes here. So we're going to take the 5th fret, still on the G, 5th fret, and we're going to hammer on to 7, which is pretty much the start of that solo in Sunshine of Your Love. Okay, the trick here is to keep that finger on as long as possible, if not just keep it on entirely. And what a lot of people will do is they will jump off this note but just before hammering on, which won't create a note. You know what I mean? Because you're pulling that off already, so the note's dead. You're effectively just hammering on again. So what they want is to hear that note go straight into that note. Okay? And the best way to do that, again, slow it right down. Make sure you get this note first. I don't want to hear loads of people doing this. you know what I mean, straight away. Get that note and then try and hammer it on from there. And the same idea with the pull off, start with that note, have this finger already fretted, don't be standing off it and then try and pull off and hammer on your finger down. Just sit with that there, that's not going to make a noise, okay? Right, that note's never been affected, so you do that and then you pull off like that, okay? And again, once you've done the opens, you can now do from one note to the other. Again, in terms of soloing, that's really handy because you don't have to pick every single note. You can do like... Okay, so that's just using again the A minor pentatonic scale, but it gives you a chance to go through some really fast notes, okay, because you don't want every note to be the same length because that would be quite boring. Okay, so that's just a mixture of hammer-ons and pull-offs. When you've got distortion behind you, slightly easier. The best thing to do though is to try never playing all these techniques with distortion. The distortion is just a nice filler and it helps beef the sound a wee bit more, but to actually practice the technique, what you want is the clean sound, because the clean sound allows you to hear exactly what you're doing, or more importantly, what you're not doing. But hopefully that's a good explanation of how to do a hammer-on and a pull-off.